So we've been sort of working on this mass family in here with the adaptive components. And what I want to do now is I actually want to come in and we're going to replace this adaptive component placement and do a little bit of a variation on the placement of it. So for example, if I come in and I pick this adaptive component here and I delete it, right? Now I've got these divisions on here. Well, if I double these divisions, let's take it to 24 and 10, right? So now I've got a double amount of divisions, and I'm going to use the circle one with the lines, adaptive points, and we'll see if we can switch it to the solid one at the end. So if I do the circle line attractor, I can come in and I can pick like a point. Let's pick a point here, 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 and here. So I've skipped, right? Like I have a point in the middle, and then I'm just going to repeat that. So if I, oops, I forgot to pick my fifth point. Let me pause. All right, so let's redo that guy since I forgot to pick my point. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And so now I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to take a minute to churn through there and place all those guys. Okay, so now I've got all those guys. Now I'm going to place another point kind of over here. Maybe, I don't know, somewhere down there. Okay. Then I'm going to place another one of these guys. So if I take this, and I come in here and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pick that one, right? Now I can repeat that, right? And it'll go and repeat itself alternating, right? And that one's going to be listening to a different tractor point, so it should get bigger as the other ones get smaller, and you can kind of play with that. Oop, can't make one of them. Let's see which one broke. Looks like it got a little wonky with that one, which is a little odd. Sometimes you just can't really tell. Let's see if I move this guy over to here, what happens. Take a minute to think about it. But I would just consider doing some alternate replacements of these guys. So there's another one. Yeah, it's breaking a little bit on these, so I'm not sure why it's breaking. The other one didn't break, which seems odd. So now I'm just curious. Sorry, I'm taking up time. The next thing I'll do once this guy regenerates, we'll see if it breaks a few more of them. Sometimes you can actually just, yeah, so it looks like those two are the problems. I'm not sure why. It seems odd that they are. So I'm gonna delete that guy, right? And I'm gonna move this point back over here. Where is that point anyway? Let's see. That seems in a reasonable place. Sometimes the points get, you know, move it over here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is once you have this in and say this is the way that you wanted it, you could come in and just flip it out for the surface circle, right? So there's the surface circle attractor, and it'll go in, and this is going to have a solid surface on it, right? And it will take a minute to regenerate. I'm going to pause while it does. All right, so there it is with that surfaced one on there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with the solid. And I'm going to pause while I do that. Okay, so here it is, and it looks fine down on this end, right? So here's the solid version. We've got sort of a ring, and it connects, you know, between these two guys. There'll probably be a little bit of oddness right there, right where it's connecting, because it's sort of curving through, but it really starts to whack out right when it hits about right here. It starts to go a little bananarama, right? So we start to get breakups in it. So I'm going to try a couple of things and see if it works. I'm just going to pause while I do that. All right, so I updated the family and changed the, let me go ahead and pick one of these so it's a little easier to see. Rotate. I updated the families and it fixed the orientation. And so basically what I did, and we've done this before, is I went to the family, I went to edit family, and I picked the adaptive points. So if I pick those adaptive points, I changed it to orients to host. So now it's orienting to the host XYZ. So when it rolls down that surface, it orients to that. Previously, and by default, it's set to instance XYZ. And when you get a reverse curvature, it goes past 90 and it flips itself. So it's a little strange the way that when it orients by instance that it does that. You can also try to do global XYZ, and sometimes that will work. If you have a really curving surface, sometimes it'll break, but I'll try and override this one. And I'll pause it while we do that. All right, so it worked on that one as well. So go ahead and get to work on figuring out what you want to do with your component and what you want to do with the connection between those 2 points over Waller Creek. And we'll keep working on it. We'll talk a little bit about 3D printing tomorrow.